introduce to you the person in charge of those galleries, I would just like to say the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is one of the largest institutions in the world, the third largest actually, with over 2 million works of art, 2 million square feet, is just the place for you. There's so much to see. We have over 18 curatorial departments filled with culture from all over the world. So I look forward to seeing so many of you in the near future. But it's my pleasure now to introduce to you Sheila Canby, who is actually in charge of our Islamic wing. She'll tell you more about that. Sheila?
Hello, good evening, and welcome also from me to the Met. And thanks very much, Donna Williams, for that kind introduction. Now, tonight, I'm very happy to present Islamic Art, Mirror of the Invisible World, which is an excellent introduction to the art covered by the galleries upstairs, the galleries of the arts of the Arab lands, Turkey, Iran, Central Asia, and later South Asia. In a way, the world that was invisible has gotten less invisible. Today, more people are aware of the regions that we cover in our galleries, in large part, of course, because of the news media, but also, I think, recently, in the last 4 months, thanks to our galleries, which have reopened in November and have enabled people to become more focused on art and culture and history. Through the art, people can understand more than just the change of taste over time. They can come to comprehend the connections between regions and how ideas traveled as the religion of Islam spread. Also, of course, traders and other kinds of travelers went on journeys all the way from Spain to Central Asia and India, taking their ideas within, talking to people, spreading new ideas. We're very grateful that organizations like the Turkish Cultural Center of New York also promote the knowledge of Turkey and its culture, which is represented in this museum in both the ancient Near Eastern galleries and also 3 galleries of Ottoman art in our new galleries. These include the Damascus room, an 18th century room from a fine house in Damascus that sheds light on the way that some people lived in the Ottoman period. So it's been very popular with our audiences because I think people can imagine when they see a whole room what it was like to live in those times. I hope you will enjoy the film, and I hope that you will enjoy the galleries tonight and that you'll return with your family and friends to see the galleries other times and to come be part of the programs that we've planned in connection with them. The galleries themselves are full of very visible wonders, and I hope that will open your eyes to the many worlds that existed between the 7th and 19th century from Spain to India. So before I go off, I'd like to introduce Mehmet Kilic of the Turkish Cultural Council and wish you all to have a very happy night. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and pleasure to stand before you here at the Islamic Art, Mirror of the Invisible World, film screening at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Turkish Cultural Center New York is proud to be one of the organizers of this event in collaboration with the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Unity Production Foundations. I just would like to acknowledge some distinguished guests in the audience, the Consul General of Bangladesh, the Consul General of Georgia, Permanent Mission of Canada, Permanent Mission of Somalia, and the Permanent Mission of Bulgaria. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank Donna Williams, the Chief Audience Development Officer at the Metropolitan Museum, who supported and inspired us with the work she has done for so many years. Metropolitan Museum of Art is more than a museum. It serves the local and global community as an educational institution, and I believe this is what makes the Met different than many other museums. I also would like to thank Alex Kronemer and Daniel Tut for their outstanding work producing wonderful documentary films to educate the American public and the global world. Turkey is a rainbow country which embraces people from many different civilizations, cultures, and ethnic and religious backgrounds. Today, we are here to witness the manifestation of the art of living together at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I hope this event to be enjoyable as it is educational. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Alex Kronemer, the executive producer of the Unity Production Foundation.
Good evening. Well, I see an interfaith audience gathered tonight, so I should probably begin with some proper interfaith greetings. So let me begin by saying shalom, salam alaikum, peace, and to everybody else in the audience, and I say this as a New England's Patriots fan, go Giants. Again, my name is Alex Kronemer. I am the executive producer of the film that you're about to see and the co-founder and executive director of Unity Productions Foundation. We're a nonprofit media foundation dedicated to the idea of working for peace and understanding through media projects such as these that shed light and understanding on the Islamic culture and on Islamic history. Tonight's film is actually going to be excerpted. We wanted to make time so all of us could enjoy this beautiful exhibit here tonight. So the film is actually 90 minutes. We're going to be showing an hour of it tonight. And it's broken into 5 themes. Tonight's, you'll be seeing the word, space, and ornament. There's also color and water. But do not despair that you're missing 2 of the themes. And I, by the way, would particularly say that color is a very important one because it really deals with a very misunderstood part of Islamic art, and that's figurative art, of which there's quite a bit. And that section deals with that. But you'll be able to see all of it on PBS this summer. This film is going to be part of a summer PBS Arts Festival that begins on Friday, June 29th. So tune in, tell your friends, tell your community, and spend a Friday night seeing the rest of the film and sharing it with anybody that you can interest in it. It's a very important topic, and it's been a long time in the making. In fact, when I think about it, it's been 1,400 years in the making. You are about to embark on an incredible journey, one that I think you're going to find quite remarkable, but not just for what you're going to be seeing in the visible pictures on the screen. At one level, you're going to be traveling to 9 countries and across 1,400 years of history. You're going to be transported into some of the most beautiful and dramatic buildings on Earth. You're going to be looking at some of the most beautiful and exquisite objects, some of which have been recently discovered. Others have been hidden away for centuries in palaces that opened up their doors to our cameras in making this film. But what's most important may be what's happening beneath the surface, beneath what it is that we will be seeing on the screen. The film's subtitle, Mirror of the Invisible World, tells us what these works of art really are, which is the physical manifestations of things that the naked eye cannot see. The religious and spiritual impulse, the mysteries of inspiration and creativity, the power of ideas, and the invisible depths of the human spirit. They tell us what's best about us. And I think their message is the following. One of the things that emerged, in fact, in the introduction we heard about the exhibit, and what many of the scholars told us as we were interviewing them in this film, is that the common thread that really unites all these great works, unites these Muslim rulers and patrons who commissioned them and the artists who made them, is that in all cases, these people were living at the confluence of civilizations. And sometimes that context was one of commerce and economic competition. Sometimes it was political conflict and a clash of civilizations. But in all cases, the people who came together around these works of art found a way to collaborate, a way to reach across and to take what's best from each other. Most of what divided them most of what troubled those societies has long been forgotten. But what endures are those things that united them. And that's what we're going to celebrate tonight in this film, and that's what this exhibit here at the Metropolitan Art Museum celebrates. These objects, both great and small, all reach out from different places and in different voices to urge us today, here, to do the same thing, which is to embrace what's good, to enjoy the beautiful. And when at a crossroads between reconciliation and conflict, between war and destruction and life, to choose life. That may be the most remarkable discovery at all on this journey across the visible and invisible worlds of Islamic art. I hope that you enjoy the adventure. Thank you very much.
I think we have a wonderful opportunity here by having actually seen this film and to see the Islamic world in its true beauty, to have a chance to experience these places where maybe a lot of us might not have a chance to visit. By going to this film today, we had a chance to see those places and up close and personal to really have a chance to feel you're there. But then you go to our galleries and you are there. You are there. You have this chance to do it. And I think this bridges the gap that all of us are one people. We really all live together in the same way. And I think by seeing it and actually experiencing it, it makes a big difference to us. So I know that culturally speaking, museums are so important because it can bridge that gap. Art can really expand our horizons. I think through art especially, we have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to learn about each other. And once we learn about each other and the fact that we are so similar in so many ways, it lends itself to more collegial behavior. I think we all have a chance to say, this is my brother, this is my sister. And I think by having it so close to us here in New York City, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, we can come to these galleries and we really can see how we can live together so well and through peace. I think art has that wonderful quality about it. I think by having the regions, as we listed, the Arab lands, Turkey, Iran, Central Asia, and later South Asia, here in our galleries, we can see that we do live together, that there are trails that they made and wove in between from one country to the other. And I think that's so interesting. Through the art, you can actually see it and say, oh my goodness, this is what we are all about. This is how we share the same things. We see the same artwork, but also we use the same tools. We use the same rugs to live on and sleep on. I mean, by having these actual artifacts here at our museum, I think it makes us more real that we are connected. I think that we all learn a lot about living together. I know that when I go to the galleries myself and I meet different visitors from all over the world, and they are talking to each other, and you can see it. I mean, they may not see that, they might not speak the same language, but you can tell by the way they look at each other that they are connecting. And I think that's the key and that's the secret. I have met so many wonderful people from Turkey actually by going to those galleries. Of course, I had the opportunity to meet wonderful people through the Turkish Cultural Center and working with Mehmet, and he has introduced me to amazing, such scholarly, such academically profound people who are just so rich in their knowledge of their country, but also of the world. So I have been really very pleased that I had this opportunity to work with the Cultural Center of Turkey.
This exhibit, how does this film help bridge the gap between Turkey and the United States? Yes. I think that, the more opportunities we have to see beyond the headlines, the headlines that we are, on both sides, often being bombarded with are always of bad news. And in the last 10 years, it's been primarily about war and conflict. That we've forgotten the great heritage of collaboration, the great cooperation of civilizations that is reflected in some of the great artwork that we see, for example, in Turkey. The great monumental mosques, some of the great productions of objects that came during the golden years there, but absolutely, actually up until today, if you think about the great calligraphic tradition that continues and continues to inspire people around the world. So I think that as we understand these connections, as we're reminded of them, it helps further the cause of understanding and pushes forward hopes for peace. Yes, peace building in the global community is always helped through understanding. When we focus on our conflicts, we focus on our differences, and therefore we regard one another as the enemy. And we then think of the other as we think of enemies in terms of how do we defeat them, how do we outmaneuver them, and so forth. But when we see, for example, how the confluence of civilizations, how collaboration is resulting in these amazing pieces of beautiful and enduring art. It's a reminder of the humanness that is unique or unites us all. And as we get to know that better, as we're able to see beyond simply the conflicts that are superficially there and look at the enduring connections that exist, that is the best and the only way, really, to promote peace and understanding. As towards the question of similarities or differences that exist among the Arab lands, Turkey, Iran, and South Asia, I mean, I think that, one of the things I always stress to American audiences when I'm speaking is not to think of the Islamic world as a monolithic world, that there are cultural differences, and that we need to realize that when we're focusing on this thing we call the Muslim world or the Islamic world. Things that are germane to the Arab lands may not apply to Turkey or may not apply to Iran. And so it's very important, though there's obviously a common connection with Islam that unites all these, but it isn't very important, I think, to understand that these are different places. They have different cultures, they have different histories, and the history of one or the culture of one cannot be used to understand the others. I think one of the most potent ways of having a dialogue with civilizations is to focus on what we typically think about when we think about civilization, and that's art, the visual arts, but also literature, music, poetry. The more exchange we can have in the art world, the more we can mend the gaps that may exist, and the more we can unite. For example, Turkey that has an amazing outpouring of art in all of those areas, and American audiences that actually appreciate Turkish art. The more we can promote those things, the more we can unite the two cultures.